They. Toys and stuff about it, you know, the-
Okay, good morning, everyone. Chair will call this meeting of the Board of County Commissioners to order this Thursday, July 9th, 2026. Chair would like to skip to item number 4, so we can talk about future healthcare professional summer exploration program. I see we have Maria joining us,
Oh,
and this is a program that we had initially wanted to, well, we had told everybody we were gonna try to train ourselves out of COVID with some new folks, right? And some young folks and why don't I have Ray, you and Maria talk about it a little bit?
I'll just lay a little background in. When we were short staff, at Riverside, you know, our goal was to bring wages up to an attractive level and simultaneously with nurses' aides to train ourselves out. I think Maria's taken this one step further to begin planting the seeds in future generations. So you're on.
So the grant comes through Go North Initiative, which is designed to implement and innovate workforce strategies to foster, I'm just reading off of this, sorry.
Yeah, it's okay.
Interest in healthcare, the healthcare field, attract, train and retain. So through the grant, we were awarded $15,000. I submitted the proposal through university systems. Our grant was approved, and the idea was I drew inspiration from our annual skills fair, where our staff present some required learning materials as needed to different departments. And these workshops I find very, very informative and inspirational and engaging. You know, it's a lot of hands-on learning and relearning, you know, just going over skills you already know. It's like a nice refresher for everyone. And so when putting this program together, I asked people who ran these workshops if they were interested in leading. So if you look at the roster for each week, we have a number of staff members listed, and it's a 16-hour-a-week program. The students end up with about 80 hours of learning, and it covers skills, it covers the administrative portion of their job, because it's a thing a lot of people don't think about, and it is very time-consuming, very important. And also sort of a day on the unit, walking through what they actually have to do with residents. The first week, which is this week, it's orientation. I asked Arnold Gustafson to participate because he does a wonderful sensitivity training. And I don't know if I'm giving you all too much information.
No, just keep going.
Okay. We went through deficits, hearing deficits,
Site
deficits, yeah. We were wandering around outside, you know, with one of the students, half of the students, with their eyes completely, you know, blacked out with, you know, eyewear, to modify their vision. So it was very, eye-opening for them, or exposed to them, however you want to look at it. Just to give them a place of empathy to begin with when you're working in the health care field, whether you're in an ER room, whether you're a pediatrician, or here at our nursing home, you have to really think about the person you're caring for. And they really loved it. I went over my role as a volunteer. I let them know that I am LNA certified as well, which was due to COVID and trying to jump in when the hand needed. And today we're going to be working with Sherry Marshall, who's our staff ed coordinator. And she works very closely with Dover High School and their LNA program. And they're going to be seeing bits of what all of our staff go through in orientation, through like residents' rights and all those things.
So we'll also do, you know, the things like the HIPAA requirements and things that will be incumbent upon them whether they're
Right.
students or employees. We need to do that as like a portion of our orientation. And then you can see from there, all of these department heads have volunteered, their time to, work with the students, over the course of the summer. At the end,
They are required to, pass in an audit summary of their experience and, they're doing amazing. So far, I usually give them about 30 minutes at the end of each lesson to kind of think
Ask
about their
questions, yeah.
experience. Yeah, and it also help us and inform us of like where we need to go from here. And at the end, after they've completed all of the workshops, they do get a stipend. I thought that was really important for students because many of them are working age, so they will receive a stipend and a certificate at the end of the program.
That's wonderful.
Have they been referred to the program through, the education system or how?
So I reached out to local schools. I had to call guidance departments and other contacts that I just found out by
Yeah.
getting on the phone. That part was a little challenging because, the grant came like early to mid-June, which is like when everyone's gearing up to leave. So
Yeah.
the grant proposal was for 10 to 15 students. I was able to retain 8. There was like 11 that were interested but didn't follow up after emails and phone calls, as it goes.
They're all at the beach.
But-
Kids.
Yeah, but honestly, 15 students would be a lot.
That would be.
I would really have to figure out a different plan for the program if we did have that many. I'm not saying it's not doable, but it would maybe be, yeah, it would just be different, but that's okay. I mean, this plan so far is working out really well for our group. And, if we
Maybe
get more
when we get-
interest, we'll just.
Maybe I'll have the commissioners go over on one of these dates and, speak to them for a few minutes.
That would be wonderful.
or maybe at the end, when we present them with their certificate of completion and their stipend checks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
and stuff,
Final Beach is kind of open still because
Yeah.
we may have some guest speakers and things
Right,
like that
right.
planned. And
Well, make sure you work us into that.
UNH is gonna be coming and doing some filming and taking photographs. I'm just collecting people who are comfortable with that and getting,
Okay.
the agreements and waivers from the students.
What's the
Well,
age
it's,
range?
15 to 17.
Okay, so they're like sophomores, they're seniors.
it's always wonderful to, have younger people get involved in the healthcare industry.
Yeah,
It makes a big difference.
I mean, you all designed, the concept of training ourselves out of, staff dilemmas,
Right.
staff shortages. This is kind of the next step in that, it's the next investment in younger, in younger folks. Hopefully, they're interested in a variety of things, because they're gonna be exposed to everything, as you see, from infection control to social service to PT, OT, everything. So that, that might, our goal is it might inspire them, or if they're already inclined to do one of these career things, that this will further inspire them to continue that form of higher education.
Well, I think it's a great program and I'm glad we were able to get the grant. It makes,
Yeah, he did mention there would probably be more in the fall.
right, that's, of course, Go North is a 5-year program,
Yeah.
so we may be able to learn some things from this.
Yeah.
And then apply next year and make it a better program as we move forward. So nice work on everybody's behalf over there.
Do you know if any other counties are doing this, or were you selected?
Actually, there was one other, I think there were, 13 groups that applied for the grant and 6 were awarded, and I wanna say Rockingham, is that true? Does anyone know?
I don't know that.
I feel like there was a representative on the Zoom call from.
I think if I'm looking at their staffing numbers correctly, I think their goal was to actually train and, help train and get current staff.
Yeah, there.
Ours is
age
more,
requirements may have been different, so.
yeah, ours is more future related.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for coming in and bringing us up to date.
Thank you,
Appreciate it.
Maria.
Thanks, Maria. I know you have to go back, so I thank you.
Okay. Chair will move back now to the agenda to make a motion to approve the June 25th minutes.
So moved.
Seconded. Okay, any changes to the minutes?
No.
Not hearing any. All those in favor of adoption, indicate by saying aye. All right. Those opposed, vote is unanimous. Item 2 is to discuss the Charters of Freedom stainless steel replica program. Apparently, Mr. Bauer, this is a program to bring up the founding documents of our country to all counties, right?
All counties across the United States. Unfortunately, it's a little short in details. Where they're dealing through the New Hampshire Association of Counties. And what they're doing now is gathering like delivery addresses. It's 450-pound stainless documents. Now, I don't know if it's one document. She doesn't know if it's one document, if it's like one document that has the Bill of Rights, one document that has a Declaration of Independence, one document, that has the Constitution, or if it's one document that contains all of that. So, and because we have a loading dock, I suggested that a place for delivery, might be the House of Correction, because we have the loading dock in the back. And then once you all see it, you could give me some guidance as to where you would like it displayed.
We talked about it this morning initially, and one of the things we thought about was placing it between the two flags in front of the courthouse.
That was my immediate thought, against the cement wall there.
Yeah, or either that or out by close to the sidewalk. Commissioner Levitt had indicated that he has some granite. So if he's got some granite, depending on the nature of what it looks like.
Yeah.
But I do think it's important, instead of pushing it back, we have it closer up to the sidewalk. Somewhere in front of the seal, so people can actually read it and see it. I think that'd be great.
Called probably around 6 o'clock last night. I called Kate to try and get the most updated information.
Yeah.
And she didn't have anything more. Apparently, she's waiting to make the call to whatever entity is providing this from. Again, it's no cost.
Yeah.
I
think it's wonderful. I wish I'd have thought about it before.
Yeah, well,
It's great.
She's waiting until all the counties in New Hampshire get back to her about where they'd like it delivered, so. Ours is in there. I mean, she's got our place of delivery, so we're just waiting now. For the other counties, and then, again, once it comes, we can move it around with our backhoe. With our loader. And I'll get maintenance or community work to put it, wherever you all think it should go. I wish I had more details about what it looked like, but we're just not there yet. But, knowing how things, are utilized in the press, I didn't want you to read about it in the newspaper without us briefing you on it with as much as I know.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, I look forward to seeing it.
Do we have a time frame? Is it like?
No.
I wish we did. I wish we had a time frame, but I'm hoping to learn more as Kate reaches back out to the entity that she's dealing with. So I'm hoping it comes pretty soon. It'd be nice to display it during the good weather.
Right. Well, probably. If the placards weigh 450 pounds, they'll probably have to have a foundation put in so it would be.
Between the granite and that.
Between the granite.
Pretty heavy.
It's gonna be heavy, yeah, so.
I figure
We'll figure that out.
We'll figure that out once it comes.
Once it comes, yeah. Okay,
I can do a road trip and pick some granite out.
yeah, we do a road trip, we'll have to figure it out, yeah. Great. Okay, item 3 is to discuss OMB's proposed rewriting of Section 2 CFR Part 20, which is uniform guidance for federal grants, so.
This is not one step short of a nightmare. I'm on a 2-hour webinar that, today's Tuesday night, and went from like 4 to 6. And, right now it's just a proposal. And the National Association of Counties is recommending that we solicit support to either modify this or kill this. Susan Collins is head of this committee, the senator from Maine.
Oh, that's just, okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was us.
Oh, no, yeah, no, Senator Collins, so, she's written, to them and asking them for more time to respond, because they've given us a relatively short period of time. The notes I took from the webinar, and remember now, this will affect all federal grants. Whether they're going to the cities,
Yeah, they probably
towns.
want a central clearinghouse or something.
Well, it's more than that. But some of the things that are concerning are, they can stop a grant anytime. Okay, so they give you the grant, you proceed to, how
Yes, I know my,
99% of the grants work on a reimbursement basis.
right,
So you could be moving along in correspondence to exactly what the grant you've said you're going to do. And if there's a change in administration they can stop it right in the middle of the grant.
just like Trump did with the solar.
Just, they can stop it. If it's contrary to national policy.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if some grants go on for a long period of time, if there's a change in national policy,
Right.
Which would primarily be a
Change in
change in administration, they can stop the grant. It's based on and I have not had a chance yet to find this. It's based on things that are outlined in the U.S. Supreme Court of South Dakota versus Dole, and I'm anxious to pull that up and read that. But again, change in administration, there's going to be a change in the pre-award, there's a change in post-award, and there's a change in audit pieces, meaning that we'll have to expand our audit so that each grant is audited in detail. More so than they're audited now. So there's going to be an additional cost to whatever entity acquires the grant. The biggest feedback, there was 81 people on the webinar with NACO, and the biggest concerns were from rural counties. And that they don't have the staff, to be able to do this. But also, a lot of rural counties are pass-throughs for grants. And now all of the vendors that are selected as a result of the grant have to pass a certification with the feds. Right now, it's us that passes the certification and we take the responsibility. In the future, it's not only us, it's whoever it might be subcontracted to. So they feel that these smaller counties feel that it's going to discourage small vendors, who might otherwise want to participate, and all of the sub-grantees are going to be, will have the money to process themselves through this, and it's going to eliminate small vendors from the process. And again, they worry about changes in elections. Again, question sub-recipients.
Are they gonna?
And the other thing that's not, the thing that does hold some promise is HUD cannot be terminated for cause. Like, HUD's excluded from this consideration. But there's no, like a lot of the changes in the federal program, the changes are conceptual, and then it'll be up. The details, the killer's in the details, right? I mean, they can pass general concepts, and it's like dealing with CMS all over again, when,
I don't know how you could take a massive operation like the federal government and consolidate.
well, it also interesting.
Unless they do it by department. I don't know
There's
how-
nothing in the legislation also that adds more staff on the federal level.
Yeah.
So they're not sure how they're even gonna be able how they're gonna be able to implement this.
Right.
But this reminds me of stuff that CMS does, so you know, an example, if you remember, one of our two deficiencies was on a coordinated water management plan.
Right.
This, I've learned that, and by the way, everybody's the same.
Yeah.
You know, Hillsborough got it, everybody got it. It's because in Vermont, a nursing home admitted a resident, and that resident family brought in a dehumidifier, and we don't allow them. It's unclear to me whether that facility allowed them or not, but of course that, you might as well just stamp Legionella disease right across and that's what happened. Shortly after, the resident went to the hospital, with what everybody suspected was pneumonia. She died quite promptly, and they determined it was, yes, it was pneumonia, but it was Legionella pneumonia. So now CMS is just throwing all these new rules without telling anybody.
Right.
You know, about, so they said, well, just call another county and see what they have. So I called Hillsborough because, you know, that's larger and I get along really well with David Ross. And so he sends me his 4-page water management plan. I show it to the surveyors. They say, oh yeah, that's fine. 2 weeks later, he's surveying, he gets a deficiency. Our deficiency answer was 195 pages. So, I mean, this is the same kind of thing I'm afraid we're gonna run into.
Right.
You know,
I just don't know how they're gonna manage it.
well, you know,
I mean,
so.
they got AI, maybe AI will figure it.
Yeah, well, if it's okay with you all, I'd like to participate in what NACO is recommending, and that is that we write a letter of concern. And I'll highlight these things, cause
Yeah.
it's due next week, cause again, they've given us such short notice. I'll draft something out and we'll get it in time.
I mean, I understand what Senator Collins is trying to do. I mean,
I don't think she's necessarily in favor of it. I mean, is asking,
and questions about.
well, she's asking for more time so this can be better analyzed. In other words, you know, they have a closing date of feedback of next week sometime. And she's asking for more time. She's asking for 90 more days. Whether that'll happen or not.
The
You
90
know,
days
it's not
will
like she's the most powerful senator in the.
Well, the other thing too is it's just not gonna, it's gonna take them a long time to just the IT alone. Think about the IT involved with that. You want, you know, it would take you years to, unless they spent a pile of dough just to get everyone to talk to one another. You know,
Well,
well, we'll see.
certainly we have some concerns. This isn't a done deal, but it is, if we don't act now, we won't have any ability to draft a response.
Right.
But this is gonna affect any governmental entity, you know, that acquires federal grants.
Mhm.
So, I just was looking really for your permission to write a letter consistent with what I've just said to you. And get it out in time so that our
Right.
information can.
Are you writing to Senator Collins or are you gonna write?
No, we're writing everybody. We're writing our two senators, our two Congress people, and we'll probably CC Senator Collins, if nothing else, to know, and you know, maybe we'll put it like a hand note on the bottom saying we endorse your letter that that requested more time, which would give NACO, National Association of Counties, more time to dig into the details of this and pass it along to us.
Well, I'm sure that they're gonna be hearing from a lot of folks. Yeah. All over, across the board. I think they might be wanting to get rid of the third party groups that, you know, solicit. I get solicitations, like you were, we're getting solicited constantly. You know, probably 50, 60 a week from private entities who let you know about certain grants or certain.
Yeah, because they want to write it and get a cut
Because
of
they
it.
want to get a cut of it. It's a lot, put it that way. Okay.
So I just wanted to get your permission to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I'll draft it, Today's Thursday. I'll draft it over the weekend and, ship a copy to you all by the beginning of the week.
Thank you, Rick.
Alrighty. Good, Susan, you wanna ask a question? I'll let you.
Well, I don't wanna be out of time.
Okay.
Okay.
Respectful of that.
Alright,
I do have a question.
alright, well, why don't we bring it up at the end? You can hang on, I'm sure you'll have probably understood. Okay, we don't have anything upcoming events, we got any old or new business, just one item, I was curious if we heard from Go North on any of the regs regarding.
We've submitted our initial application. We've written to all the selectmen and, the only one who called me was Durham, who actually said that they didn't believe that anything in the Go North, this Go North package, remember, it's a 5-year plan, was of any advantage, but they offered to write a letter in support of us.
Okay, good.
So I told them, once we get the initial approval, which I don't believe will be any problem, because as you know, $20 million was reserved for county nursing homes. So we certainly are gonna qualify just on that basis.
Right.
But we have to do
Whatever.
like a pre-award qualification process, which Diane completed. We used, or I suggested that she used, and she used a lot of the wording that we did in the, that we used for the direct congressional funding on, it's almost impossible to separate the boiler and the windows. I mean, they're all,
They're tied together.
you know, they're tied together and, you know, the age of the roof and those things. So Diane did a really nice job. You know, we fixed a couple little things and I have no question that we'll get that pre-approval. And then, like I said earlier, we've got probably 3/4 of the substance of the grant done. Because we will use a lot of the same. So fortunate that we actually have winter data. Because we were, I thought we were gonna be going to the delegation, you know, for funding, so. You know, we have the heat gun and we have all that data, which I think puts us a jump ahead because how do you get winter data now?
Right.
You know, so, and now we had a, climate control unit on, unit 2 blow on last Wednesday, and fortunately we overnighted the part, and our vendor, they delivered it to the wrong place. Our vendor actually was on vacation, Brulot, actually drove to where they delivered it, picked it up and put it in before the weekend.
Really?
You know, the kid that took over for, that bought Brulot.
He's a good guy.
Yeah, he actually drove on his vacation to pick it up.
That's nice.
So nice.
So we were, you know, that doesn't cool. Let's put it this way, the air net circulation, once it was back up and running, blew out at 69 degrees. So that doesn't mean it cools everything to 69. It means that that's its, you know, capacity. But that's a lot better than 90. So we're able to keep the unit in the upper 70s.
You know, we've been talking about this. Even Paul Dumont and I talked about, remember, we used to get into some heated discussions about air handling in the nursing home. It's just been
It's just old. I mean, it's just old. But
equipment's old, you can't get parts for it, no.
you know, the vendors, you know, have been so kind and so helpful. I mean, who else would do something like that?
Yeah, really.
I mean, you know.
Get it. Okay, well, that answers my question on the Go North grant. Any other old or new business? No, no, okay. All right, questions and comments from the public?
Okay.
The agenda.
First of all, thank you for the 100th birthday for the patient over.
That was so much fun.
It was nice to see it out on Facebook. And also the article I saw it today in Foster's. I didn't have a chance to read all the way through it, but thank you very much for that. And I, in a very small way, try to contribute
You did.
to that. And I find that personally, that is very meaningful to me, to be able to have that for those residents, because those are milestones and memories, that they wouldn't have had otherwise. So thank you. The second comment is that you did all of that work this winter with regard to the heat guns and stuff. And replacing those windows, I would think that it would also have, and maybe not as great, but maybe it could have an even more impactful event in the summertime and keeping the rooms cooler for
yeah.
the residents. So I look at it as a dual purpose, not only in the wintertime, but the summertime. Do you have any plans to?
We're already doing it.
Doing it for the summertime so
Yeah.
that you can see, okay.
We're already doing it.
And then my last question is going back to this new thing of rewriting the federal grants. That's not only gonna affect us, but that's gonna trickle down to all federal grants, which would be city and town.
Correct.
Correct, okay. And you're working on that Go North grant, and you said that Durham was willing to write you a letter.
Of support
Of
for
support.
the, Todd Sullivan.
Something that I can take back to the city of Rochester and see, is there not enough time?
No, there's plenty of time. What I'd like to do is, on Monday, Diane will be back from vacation.
If you can just email.
That's, I'm gonna have her do it.
And then I will push my end.
I'll have
as the
Diane
city
do it.
councilor, because that's a significant amount of money, and that would go a long way over there.
I'll have Diane do it.
Thank you.
Okay,
Janet will remind me.
with that all said.
I'll just nag you.
Since we don't have any other questions from the public, Chair will move to item number 8, which is to a motion to move in a non-public session for personnel.
Actually, it'll be for legal. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
It'll be for
legal too.
personnel.
Okay. Well, I guess I got a personal issue. too,
Okay.
so. All right, so it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, Commissioner Feliciano.
All right.
Aye. Commissioner Levitt, myself, yes. Okay, the commissioner retired in non-public session. Thank you all very much.